Assalamu alaikum. Today's topic of discussion is approach to dysphagia or difficulty in swallowing. So we will follow it with the same pattern, history of presenting illness, starting with the OD para. If the patient has come with a presenting complaint of difficulty in swallowing for last 3 or 4 months, then how we are going to proceed it. My patient not diabetic, not hypertensive, known case of alcohol, presented with a complaint of difficulty in swallowing for the last 4 months, which was gradual in onset, progressive and continuous in nature. Either it is continuous or intermittent, you have to mention it. Initially experiencing difficulty in solid food and now semi-solid, and now for the last few days it has progressed to liquids also. It is aggravated or not aggravated by any medication or by change of posture, and there is no diurnal variation. He describes his symptoms as sticking of food in the throat or neck wherever he describes, and however there is no history of any pain in swallowing, that is odynophagia. You have to describe that patient denied any history of choking, coughing, nasal regurgitation, any immediate vomiting, or every time she takes solid, she says that she vomits out containing solid food, undigested particles with no blood in it. There is no history of any squeezing chest pain, then you can mention that there is a history of unintentional weight loss of 20 kgs in last 3 months, along with decreased appetite or decreased early satiety for if patient is going towards the CS stomach. Then you can also mention initially she was able to take 1 chapati, but now she is only able to take less than half chapati, and there is excessive fatigability and she is unable to perform her activities. Then for the differential diagnosis, what you are going to rule out, there is no history of any oral ulcers, any retrosternal chest pain, any oral regurgitation that worsens on lying flat, any pain during eating, any previous history of diabetes, high risk sexual behavior, Hakim medication or immunosuppressants, any increased urination, thirst or increased appetite, IV drug abuse, any history of difficulty of swallowing which worsens with posture. If you haven't asked before, you can ask here. If you have asked before, you are not going to repeat it again. Then any exposure to radiation or radiotherapy, any use of bone medication, Hakim medication in the form of steroids, any painkillers, any previous GI surgery or intervention, any lumps and bumps in the body or early satiety. Then for autoimmune, there is no history of any skin tightening, shortness of breath, dry eyes, dry mouth, any difficulty in combing hairs or difficulty in standing from sitting position, any previous history of weakness of the legs or arm or facial weakness, difficulty in speaking or drooping of eyelid, fatigability of muscles, sudden loss of vision which resolves on its own after some time, any bilateral lower limb weakness, any shortness of breath or difficulty in speaking, any resting tremors or abnormal posture. So this is the CNS, which is covering stroke, myasthenia gravis, multiple sclerosis and MND. Then for Plummer-Vinson syndrome, there is no history of decreased hemoglobin, or you can say any blood loss or any pale complexion of the skin, any history of blood transfusion, any use of iron supplements. Then for CA lung, you can ask there is no history of any chronic cough, any blood in sputum, any shortness of breath, any then thyroid swelling, you can ask for any neck swelling which moves with swallowing, any lumps and bumps in the throat, or any heat intolerance, weight loss, any for pressure effects, if patient is having any previous valvular heart disease like mitral stenosis, so no use for that. You can mention that there is no hoarseness of voice or any previous valvular heart disease or any use of intramuscular monthly injections. So for care of esophageal carcinoma, if the patient is presented with difficulty in swallowing, you are going to mention the etiology and risk factor. If the patient was smoker, he is a smoker for last 15 years, 20 years, this pack years smoking with and he is aware of the side effects, but he is unable to quit for the last 7-10 years. Yeah, he might have quitted, but he have taken it for a longer time, and now he has just quitted 1 month back. So you have to mention it in detail. Then alcohol, how much he was taking or he is taking or not. Then the swar, any betel nut, any family history of malignancy, you have to mention it. Then for dysphagia, you are going to mention, as the patient is not taking any diet, so he is going to have nutritional deficiency similar as diarrhea. You have to mention the nutritional deficiencies like vitamin deficiency. If there is no history of any night blindness, you will ask, there is no history of any difficulty in seeing or vision at night. Then any beefy tongue, any bone pains, any brittle hairs, any bruising over the skin, any bone pains, any perioral lesions, swollen gums, any paleness of complexion. So this is the complications of this difficulty in swallowing. Then for esophageal cancer, as we have complication of esophageal cancer, you are going to mention from above till down your for metastatic complications. Like from CNS, there is no history of any altered state of consciousness, any lumps and bumps in the body, any chest pain, any shortness of breath, altered bowel habits, any yellowish discoloration of sclera, any blood in vomitus or any dark colored stools, any bone pains, paleness of complexion, any nighttime bones pains, any chest pain. If you are suspecting and you are taking your case towards the esophageal cancer, you must see for skin changes, because esophageal cancer involves the skin. There is this paraneoplastic seen as tylosis. Then next will be what are the investigations and treatments up till now he have gone through. Then as before, after history of presenting illness, past history covering both the medical and the surgical, then family history, vaccination history, transfusion history, drug history, the functional status of the patient, and the socio-economic status of the patient. That's all for today. Thank you.